What's happening, Peoria Life? My name is Patrick Thompson here on the Pinner and Patrick Show. Out here at Anytime Fitness, North Peoria, our home base for Doug and I. We're out here. We're going to talk to you about how to properly execute some squats, some bench presses, and some posture exercises to help you feel better each and every day. Recap of last week, we were at Iron Athlete Performance with owner Adam Wasson, and what we went over was sled pulls, how to wear a proper weightlifting belt, and we talked about his athletes and how they're progressing and what he does for their sport-specific training. So this week, we're out here at Anytime Fitness North Peoria. We're going to go over how to properly set up the squats, and that kind of leads in from what we talked with Adam. Jake and Shelby are back there. They're ready to work out. They're ready to show you. I'm ready to show you how to get ready, set up for the squat, and properly execute that. So that way you can squat safer and become stronger each and every day. So Patrick here at the Pinner and Patrick Show. We're going to get started. What's up, everybody? Here with coach of Anytime Fitness North Peoria, Jake Ennis. He just finished up his 15th round of his circuit with Shelby. Actually, I think it was like his 4th round. But how many exercises did you just do?
I just did 4 in one circuit. So.
4 in a circuit. So 4 rounds, 4 exercises. Nice, nice. Why did you do a circuit today?
Try to get the heart rate up. Didn't take a lot of rest time. Just hitting the chest, hit the back, and just flopping back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
Heart rate up, trying to lose a little bit of weight without having to run.
There you go. So if you're trying to lose weight or you need to get a workout in to shorten up your day, you can still do so with circuits like Jake just did. So awesome. Very cool. Was squats involved?
No, not today. Hit legs pretty heavy yesterday.
Perfect. So since we talked about the weightlifting belt last week at Iron Athlete Performance with Adam Wasson, how to properly wear that, right above the hips, right in the biggest part of your core, now we're going to go over how to set up the squat rack, how to be safe during the squats, and spotting, loading the bar, things of that nature, because we have a big event coming up next weekend, July 29th, Squats for Soldiers here. I'm going to be doing it. Shelby's going to be doing it. Jake will be doing it. I think he's going to do like 400 pounds. We'll see. So anyways, Squats for Soldiers next weekend, July 29th, 8 a.m. to noon here at Anytime Fitness North Peoria. If you want to gain more information on that, go to front9foundation.com, and all the info is right there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this started with the squats. So Jake, go ahead and stand behind the bar there for me. Yeah, you think this is good enough for your squats, or? No. All right, so he is a little shorter than the bar, so let's go ahead and get this down, Jake. Shelby's over there laughing right now as he's still working out. So Jake is lining up the rack based off of his height. So Jake, you could probably go maybe one higher, one lower, but you chose this height, right? Why did you choose that height?
Because when I get this height, if it's one above, to get it off the rack, I have to get on my tiptoes.
Okay.
If it's one below, to get it off the rack, I have to pretty much do a quarter squat to get it off. So I'm wasting quite a bit of energy doing that. Absolutely.
So if it's too high and you have to get on your tiptoes, that, for me, you're wasting energy, but it's dangerous. So when you go to unrack it, then you do your squats, then you rack it. Racking, it's the hardest part if it's too high because, you're on your tiptoes, you're tired, you're like, oh no. So make sure that it's low enough you're not on your tiptoes at all. Then he said that if it's too low, he's in a quarter squat position already. You're wasting energy like he just said. So we have this. I height 7 for Jake. He is all set up. Now, the next step for this, before he even gets under the bars, and make sure the safety bars are at the right height for him. So let's say Jake was doing, 80, 90% of his 1 rep max, which is probably close to 400 pounds or more. He's going to want to make sure that he has the safety bars here at a height to where it is still below his lowest portion of the squat. Where would that be, Jake, just for your purpose?
Normally the way I check that is I just get into my squatting position, look where my shoulders are at, and just kind of put it one below where I put my hand at.
So 13 would be for you. Yep. Let's go ahead and put that there then. And again, before we put any weight on the bar, we're going to show you how to fail on a rep. So that way you know how to fail. when you're going down and let's say it gets too heavy. So, Jake, go ahead and just get under the bar first, and then we'll come back to the beginning portion of it. So he's doing all this stuff, getting all set up. Now, pretend it's pretty heavy weight. Go ahead and go down for me and kind of fail, I guess. Oh, crap. Dang it. So Jake, what he did was he went down. It was too heavy for him, so he basically just rested that on the safety bars. Now, you don't want to keep going forward, and let that barbell roll to your neck. What Jake did, he knew he wasn't going to get it up, so he just went straight down with it. Now, let's say you don't have access to a power rack or these safety bars. What you want to do, basically, if you're going in a squat, is if Jake goes down, go ahead and go down for me, Jake, and you get stuck, just fall backwards. Boom. And that's going to the barbell will go to the floor. You will follow behind that. More than likely, after that hits, you're going to catch yourself and you won't get hurt. Never go forward if you don't have a spotter or safety bars on that. So, Jake, go ahead and bring that back up if you could, please. All right. So we have bar height. Check. We have safety bars. Check. Next up, it's basically just getting set up for the squat and executing it. So, Jake, go ahead and do your setup, and I'll walk them through this.
So you want to go weight on?
Yeah, let's go ahead and put some weight on. You're warmed up. You've already done your 15 circuits today.
I wish it was 15 circuits.
Now, we went straight to the 45s with Jake. However, for most gym goers, actually, I wouldn't say most, I'd say every single gym goer out there, you need to start with the bar when you're starting to warm up or after some of your warm-ups beforehand, because you want to get your bar, your depth, all that stuff. Make sure you're firing on all cylinders. Then maybe jump to 25s depending on your strength. However, I know Jake, he's strong. He's jumping to 45s and he's sweating. He's ready to rock. So, Jake, go ahead. Let's just do 10 reps if you could here for me. So he's getting up under the bar. He's getting tight. His feet are set so he can take off with his hips, not his back. Feet are set, toes are out, weights on his heels. Drive the hips back, boom, back up. So what Jake's doing here is he's sitting back on his heels, putting the pressure on his hamstrings and his glutes, not necessarily his quads. Coming back up. He's breathing in right before he goes down. There you go. And he's bracing that core, his abs, to make sure his posture is nice and upright. Eyes are staying up, chin's up. Looking real good, Jake. Very good. Took his time racking it. That's fantastic. One thing that you guys may notice, I noticed it, is he does a thumbless grip. Based off preference, really, isn't it? Yeah. Comfort, preference. For me personally, if I do a thumb under the bar grip, the bar tends to roll back on my back more. If I do what Jake did, a thumbless grip, it stays in more position. Yeah. Is that why you did that?
That, and I try to keep my shoulders in real tight.
Okay.
From the back.
That helps with it?
Yep.
Perfect. So that's another cue, keeping the shoulders back nice and tight. If your thumbs are back behind the bar, you might stay tighter during the squat movement. Other than that, what I would recommend is don't go too heavy too fast. Make sure that you have your form, you have your technique. If you have questions on how to properly do a squat or any other exercise for that matter, reach out to Jake, reach out to myself, reach out to Shelby. We're coaches here at Anytime Fitness North Peoria. We'd be happy to answer a question or two for you. Look us up on Facebook, Anytime Fitness North Peoria, and we can help you out. Anything to add to this, you think, Jake?
No, I think you hit everything.
I'm sure there's more to add, but we only have so much time today. So with that, we went over the squats with Jake Ennis, myself here at Anytime Fitness North Peoria on the Pinner and Packer Show. Next up, we're going to talk about some stuff about the bench press. Whoa, buddy, whoa. What's going on here? Go ahead and rack that. Let's show you how to do this.
What am I doing wrong?
What are you doing right? So, Jake here, he just did a bench press for you guys to show people the kind of the wrong way to do it. We're going to just go over it just like we do with the squat, the correct setup, all of that. Just make sure you're safe with it. That way you are doing it hopefully with no pain, no injuries coming about, and then just like I said, just getting stronger, getting towards your goals. So initially on the bench press, like we did, like with the squat, you set up the safety bars, the rack height, then you go from there. Now Jake, he has the rack height already set up for him, so we won't show you how to adjust that. However, if you do have it too low, again, you'll be basically bench pressing it off of it or reaching for it. You definitely do not want to reach for too high of a bar on a bench press, because if you do that, you might not get it up and it might go somewhere else, like on your chest, and we don't want that. So before we go actually into the showing the movement of the bench press, Jake, let's go ahead and get these up here. Where would you be at here on this? 15?
Probably about 15, yeah.
All right. Again, if you're not being safe with exercises such as the bench, squat, deadlift, a lot of dumbbell exercises also, I mean, you're increasing your chance of injury by a lot. Even if you're not lifting heavy, you could just get fatigued on a, let's say, a 65% of your max effort and get tired, not be able to rack it or set it down properly, and an injury can occur that way. So we just want to make sure we're getting all the ducks in a row here before we actually do it. So we have the bar height, excuse me, the barbell height, the safety bar height, and then the bench for Jake, we already set that up. Couple things there. Don't be so far forward if it's a movable bench. It's not a closed one together with the rack. Make sure you're not having it too far forward, because you don't want to be reaching for the barbell, especially if you're by yourself, which we'll get to that in a minute. Jake, go ahead and just set up your own bench press here for me. So he's getting, what you can see, his feet are back behind his knees. A lot of people, before you unrack that, will keep their feet out in front of you, in front of their knees. And what happens is when they're benching, their feet come up off the floor. You lose all of your power in your legs when you do that. You do not want to do that. Keep your feet flat, drive through your heels. Even though Jake's feet are still in front of his knees, he can still drive through his heels, get force. You just saw how his legs went backwards. He's putting power through his legs from the floor, because think about it. If you're pushing through your heels down through the floor, the earth, you're not going to move the earth. I'm sorry. You're not, no matter how strong you are, you're not going to move the earth. But that force from your heels is coming up through your legs, coming up through your torso, up to your arms. And I mean, it's science right there. So with that, Jake has his feet back on his toes. His heels are slightly up, because when he's pressing down through his heels, he's getting force up through his knees, through his thighs, up to his core. Go ahead and press down again for us, Jake. Now his body just went back. He's tensed up right now, and he's not even lifting. That's good. That's good. So now with that, one of the biggest important parts, we're going to go up to the barbell, look at his grip there. He has a thumbless, aka suicide grip. I wouldn't recommend it, but I do always a thumb over, and before you even unrack it, you have your feet set. You want to make sure his shoulder blades are tight, which they are. Chest is puffed out, and let's go ahead, Jake. So you can hold that, it's not that heavy. What happened was, what I just saw there, and you guys may have as well, bring that back for me. Jake had to press up and pull out. Go ahead and do that again. And he pulled out. What we do not want to see is that. If you're bench pressing, try to have a spotter. Try to have someone spotting you, because if he has his lats tight, his chest is upright, and he's counting down from 3 to 1, and we do a lift off, go ahead and 3, 2, I lift up, help him, we get it set, now he's ready. A lot of the energy in a bench press is wasted from unracking it yourself. I've learned that the hard way, trust me. You want to make sure you have someone spotting you, someone assisting you, somebody guiding the bar. So go ahead and do some reps here, Jake. Nice, very nice. Using his legs, driving through the heels. bracing his core, his breath as he's going down. He's tapping and going back up. As he's coming up, he's going down, 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 come up towards my fingertips. It's not a straight line, it's a little arc there. That way he can come down, control with his back muscles, press up with his chest. Down, 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 up, good. Now, all right, go ahead and rack that again, Jake. He has pretty good technique. If we were really trying to get picky with this form, we probably could, but we're not here to do that today, mainly for safety and just general overview. Jake, let's go ahead and pretend we're doing a 1 rep max. You don't have to necessarily fail or anything like that, but go ahead and pretend we're doing a 1 rep max. Unless you're in a competition, you should be doing it other ways, but if you're in a gym, this is how I recommend, how I do it with a lot of people I work with, just because safety first. A lot of people who are average gym goers don't really want to walk out of the gym with a torn rotator cuff or chest or anything like that. So this is how your spotters should be spotting you during your bench press on a max attempt.
3, 2, 1.
Ready? There you go. Boom. He successfully did that. 45 pounds, his new PR. You saw how I guided him the way down. He did touch my hands on the way up. If it was his actual weight, he wouldn't have touched my hands because it would have been a lot slower. But that's the idea you want to have when you're going down, be with the person the whole way, because you never know what could happen. You want to make sure your hands are there, guiding that barbell the way down, the way up, helping unrack and rack. Now, if he's failing, let's do one more where he's failing.
3, 2,
Set. All right, nice job, man. So Jake, he didn't get his PR there. Dang it. He wasn't able to get it. I noticed that right away. I pulled that up. We racked it together. If you're bench pressing, you're the guy where Jake's at or the girl where Jake's at, you want to make sure you're pressing the entire way. If you're like, oh, I can't get it, don't rely on me or your spotter to pull it up. You want to make sure that you're pushing the entire time while your spotter helps you pull it up. That way, there's nothing unfortunate that can happen during a bench press. With that, guys, we covered safety bars, height, general overview, how to use your legs, the setup, hand placement, how to spot. Again, if you have questions, let myself, Jake's coach here at Anytime Fitness North Peoria, Shelby as well. We have a whole staff of knowledgeable trainers here. Hit us up on Facebook, Anytime Fitness Peoria. How about those squats those guys just did for us? Now that you know how to properly set up a squat and execute, let's talk about this week's sports. So the biggest headline that everyone's been talking about the last couple of days is O.J. Simpson. He was granted parole due in October, on the 1st of October coming up. He, 7 years old, 2008, was convicted of armed robbery, and he served his 9-year minimum of a 33-year sentence. So he got out on the early end of his sentence, so who knows what's in store for OJ once he gets out of there. The in the NFL also, Michael Orr with the Carolina Panthers, he was released from them this week due to not being able to have a proper physician. So he was designation from his physician. He wasn't able to pass any of his tests because of a concussion protocol from last year. He was out the last 13 games of the NFL season last year due to concussions. So another big thing going on in the NFL, concussions. With that, I mean, safety of the players. Hopefully Michael Orr can have something to fall back on. I know he had that movie The Blind Side. I'm sure he's doing pretty well. Into the Major League Baseball, the Minnesota Twins are close to acquiring pitcher from the Atlanta Braves, Jaime Garcia. He is 3-7 with a 4.33 ERA. He used to be on the St. Louis Cardinals, and I mean, hit or miss with that guy. So good luck to the Minnesota Twins and Jaime Garcia. In the MLB Central, the standings, we have the Milwaukee Brewers in first place right now at 52-46. Then it follows the Cubs, Pirates, my Cardinals, and then the Cincinnati Reds all the way 10.5 games back. The NL Central, I mean, we'll see what the the rest of the season brings. I know there's only about a third of the season left, so I think the Cubs, Pirates, Brewers, and Cardinals, they will all be in there near the end of the month or the end of the season. So we'll stay tuned for that. Then we have the Los Angeles Dodgers with a 66-30 record, which is outstanding. They're on pace to finish roughly 109-53. So that's a really good record. I think they'll end up with maybe 104 games, 105 games winning this year. And then last but not least, I want to give a big shout out to Monmouth and Galesburg area local Eric Shelton. He's going to be fighting in the UFC 214 in the flyweight division at 125 against Jared Brooks. Good luck to you, my man. He's going to be fighting out in Anaheim, California for the UFC 214 in the flyweight division. With sports, my name is Patrick Thompson on the Penner and Patrick Show. Thanks for listening. We have more exercises for you. So the squat, the bench press. Now let's go over some smaller exercises that anyone and everyone should be doing for their exercise and overall health. So the next couple exercises are really good for people who work in an office setting or people who sit a lot. Typically what happens when people are sitting a lot is that our upper back muscles, our neck muscles that become weaker, they become longer, more strained, and then what happens is our posture starts going like this. So what we ideally want is our posture to be like this. And the exercises that I'm going to go over with you guys will really help you go from possibly this to this. Now, little anatomy here for you. On the back side of you, let's pretend this is your back. This is the back side of your neck. Your muscles, your fibers run basically horizontal this way and this way. So this way and this way. And what happens is as we tend to hunch over more, those muscle fibers get elongated, they get longer, they get weaker. That's bad. That's really bad, actually. We want to make them become a little bit shorter and stronger. So if we're looking at it at a side view, long, weak muscles, shorter, not short, just shorter, but strong muscles in the backside of the shoulders and the shoulder blades and then the spine as well. Why do we need to be stronger with our posture? Energy will be increased, injury prevention, overall, you just stand taller, look more confident, more comfortable. So without further ado, let's go through a couple of these exercises for you. Now, there's many ways that we can go through these exercises and many different variations, but I'm just going to show you a couple here. So the first one is the standing cable face pulls. With this exercise, you simply just need to have one attachment, a pulley system about chest height, chin height, whichever. It doesn't need to be super precise, but I say just about chest height. With your attachment, here I have a rope. We're going to do an overhand grip, thumbs over. We don't need to do that, thumbs over. The biggest part for this is to keep your weight light. You don't need to have heavy weight on this. Save your heavy stuff for deadlifts and barbell rows. Keep it light. You're going to start here. You want to keep your chest elevated, shoulders are back and engaged already. We're not starting here. Up and back, chin's back, and then we're pulling with our shoulders and shoulder blades. Back, 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 back. And when I come back, the attachments to my chin, my elbows are back, my shoulder blades are back, and I'm squeezing those muscles. Control forward, back, control forward, back. Cable, rope, face pulls. Now, like I said, there's many variations that we can do this. What's going to happen with the variations is that you're going to target your muscle fibers in a different way. So let's say I go at a high pulley, pull down or face pull. From this, I'm going to grab it again the same exact way, and I would rather have the pulley be a little higher, so I'm going to kind of lunge down kneel down a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull. Because when I do this, I'm able to get my lower trapezius involved a little bit more, so my lower traps. I'll explain that a little bit more in a second. The lower traps are very, very weak on most individuals. If you have a shoulder problem, shoulder tightness, could be due because your lower trap's pretty weak. With the lower trap, it's right in here, that area right there. Wish I really had a chart, but this will do, right here. And when I was pulling down, I'm engaging my lower trap there. A lot of people think our traps are up here, which they are, but however, our traps are such a big muscle group that people tend to forget about them in the lower mid-back. So, if you're wanting to do this at home, you can use bands. Those bands can be anything such as a resistance tube band, or one of those tape bands. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but you get them at a physical therapist's office, doctor's office, things like that. You can do the exact same thing. Tie it to your door, tie it to a pole in your house, whatever it may be, and really work your back muscles that will help with your posture. And though, I mean, when it comes to sets and reps, aim for 2 to 3 sets, 15 to 20 reps. I do this 3 or 4 times a week. I guarantee your posture is going to improve tremendously. So that's going to help your posture. If you have any questions, again, reach out to us, Anytime Fitness, North Peoria. My name is Patrick Thompson on the Pinner and Patrick Show. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of the Pinner and Patrick Show here at Anytime Fitness, North Peoria. Go back if you're at the end. Go back, watch the squats, watch the bench press, and watch the 2 exercises to improve your posture today. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Squats for Soldiers here July 29th, 8 a.m. to noon. So looking for a couple more squatters for the event. If you want to do it or you want to donate, please reach out to us at thefront9foundation.com. We have our trophies for the event for most dollar amount raised by an individual, sponsored by Never Been Stronger. Most weight lifted by volume for male, sponsored by Budget Builders Construction and Remodeling. And then lastly, most weight lifted by volume for female, sponsored by Remax Traders Unlimited, Mike O'Brien. Now, if you guys are there at the event on Saturday, July 29th, make sure to stop at the Never Been Stronger table. Get a free sample of the pre-workout that everyone's raving about. If you have questions on that, let me know about it. I'll be happy to answer those questions. It'll be a great time. There will be many people here supporting money for great causes. The Front 9 Foundation, which which benefits the Children's Hospital of Illinois right here in Peoria, the Family House of Peoria, the Blaine Robinson family, teed up for the troops, and this year, 2017, SPC Mike Howie, who was injured in a on-base accident. So, again, come out, support the troops here in the Peoria area and beyond, and let's have a good time at Squats for Soldiers 2017. Again, Patrick Thompson, the Pinner and Patrick Show.